So let me tell you a story. This is it's a love story, even though it might not sound like one at first. This weekend was certainly lined up to be maybe my busiest wrestling weekend of my entire professional career, certainly travel-wise. I posted about it yesterday, I think something like 25,000 miles or something between flights and driving and 4 matches, 3 different countries. Just the kind of thing I signed up for, And so last night I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I'm wrestling for a great promotion, Top Talent Wrestling. Be sure to go check it out. And we booked a flight. We booked a flight last night. Arguably the toughest flight of this entire loop. So what it was a red eye. I have a couple red eyes. So not a lot of sleep. It's fine. It's what I signed up for. What I didn't envision was that flight getting canceled. So when that took place, it was actually mostly luck, right? It was after the show. I knew I had about an hour to go. The airport wasn't very far from the venue, so that was convenient. But it's post-show. I wrestled in the main event, a great match, and I'm selling merch at my table after the show, and I just happened to peek down at my phone and refresh it, and I don't know what caused me to do that or why I decided to do that in the middle of selling merch, but I saw a red bar, which is obviously a bad sign, and it turns out my flight was canceled. This flight was very specifically picked as pretty much the last flight out of the day. It was technically Saturday morning, but also with the time difference and the time zones and losing time with the red eye and all that stuff, it all factors in to basically put me in an impossible situation, right? I saw that canceled flight and I said, I'm not going to make the show tomorrow. But my brain is hardwired to not give up on professional wrestling, right? So especially when it comes to travel, I look at all the options. Can I drive to Calgary? Can I drive over the border? Is there another airport? Can I fly into New York City? Can I fly in? And I'm weighing all my options. Meanwhile, what I'm doing is, because my flight was the last flight out, there's still the possibility that there's maybe 1 or 2 other flight options that are sooner. So I book it to the back. I start changing while I'm on the phone, trying to get the reservation changed. And I'm getting changed. I'm getting dried off. I'm trying to communicate with people. I need to sign a few things that I promised the company that I would sign. I'm trying to communicate with the guy who I need to drive me to the airport. It's just a hectic madhouse. All of this for, I'm probably not going to be able to make it regardless. I have that in my head that this might be an impossible situation. But like I said, I'm not going to give up on it. So as I'm on the phone, I'm like, okay, I'm sitting on hold. This isn't working. There's clearly a lot of call volume here. Maybe there's a ton of cancellations. It's a weather thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've been wrestling for 3 hours. I don't have the answers. So as I'm doing that, I get changed. I pack up all my gear. I do all this in lightning speed. Usually I take forever, but in this particular instance, I'm moving very quickly. And then we're driving to the airport, and I decide, I can't wait on hold anymore. We're literally going to run out of time. There are flights boarding right now. I'm running out of options. The airport basically closes at 1 a.m. and it's almost midnight right now. So I start looking at the available flight options, weighing out, and there's just no options. I have to get to Boston. There's just no flights to Boston. I'm looking at different airports. I'm looking at every possible option until finally I land on the possibility of, okay, I know that I can drive from Montreal to Worcester, Massachusetts in about 5 hours. So maybe there's an outside shot that there's still a possibility I can get on a flight like that. There is, only because that flight also got delayed 25 minutes, I think. So I happen to have a window of time to still get to the airport, still get through security and all that stuff, and just sneak on this plane. The only problem is this flight costs $2,500. But you know what? I'm in love with professional wrestling. So I'm going to spend my own money to pay for a flight that very well might not happen, by the way. That's a connection through Toronto, now a tight connection, a connection that very well may not happen, all on the off chance that I can make it and get to Montreal, somehow get a one-way rental car, drive my ass down through the border on time to get to Beyond Wrestling Tonight. And look where we are, driving through Montreal, because we did it. Not quite there yet. I had to jump through a lot of hoops, and I had to spend a lot of my own money to do this. But come hell or high water, I am going to be at Beyond Wrestling Tonight. Now, I only have one question. And my question is, what are you willing to do for this, Alec Price? What are you willing to sacrifice for this? Because I want you to know that this is what I'm willing to sacrifice. Everything. I have 2 children at home that would love to see me today, and they're not gonna see me. Because my plan was to land in Boston and go see my kids for maybe an hour. But that's not happening anymore. Because I'm willing to sacrifice that for pro wrestling. Are you? I hope the answer is yes. I really hope that the answer is yes. Because if not, you're in a world of trouble, my friend. You are in a world of trouble. I would die for this business. And I hope that you come ready to test me on that tonight.